Hello, cartoon car fans. I know there's not too many of us, but, I'm here for you guys anyways, the few that are. I also, I kind of like the cartoon cars more than the realistic ones because, frankly, in 164, the realistic cars aren't good enough. There's always some sort of problem, I find, in those realistic-looking 164 scale models, even the resin ones. But I don't find problems really in cartoon cars because they're not supposed to look realistic, right? So, yeah, that's why more than half my videos are probably about deformed things now. So I got this from this exact listing here on Aliexpress called Magic Kids Store up here. I think they're the only ones selling these. They might be the factory themselves. And you can see there's 4 different offerings. There's a cool pimped out Mini. It looks like a Ferrari of some sort. The GTR today, and a Lambo. Maybe a Reventon, or no, I guess that's probably an Aventador. I don't know what that Ferrari is. You can buy it without the box, which is what I did. Although it came okay, as you saw on the styrofoam thing. I'm trying to get a picture of this thing. Oh, is that a 458? Maybe that's a 458. Leave a comment if you know what you think that is. There are the dimensions, so I don't have to sit there and measure the thing. It doesn't actually say a scale. It's realistic. 164, there's no way this is 164. This is way beyond 164. So keep that in mind. I'll do some size comparisons later. Let me get the good old tuna can of height and read this camera so we can get a better light on this thing. Alright. Yeah, these wheels are as tall as a 164 scale model, but the wheels are nice. Look at this. There's 5 lug nut details there, the center cap detail, and then the spokes have like a scalloping effect in each of them. Although I will say I don't think I recognize these wheels on a R35 Skyline. Do you? Well, anyways, they look nice. I don't recognize them. The tires are really nice as well. The curvature of the sidewall looks very good. It's curving in, but then the outside you got the tread blocks, and the tread blocks don't look like truck tires. That's the thing I find very often on 164 scale models. They look like they're running truck tires on sports cars. They should just not have treads at all in 164. You can see the rivet marks here, really fine rivet marks. This is a die-cast body. The description does say alloy on that Aliexpress listing. I have no affiliation with Aliexpress, so don't buy it from them if you can find it somewhere else. Oh, and also one thing we should look at is the price of the ones with the boxes, because I'm already liking this model. I might buy the other ones. Oh, there's a whole bunch here if you'd view more. Alright, so with the box it's like $11. Without the box it's like $7, $8. So I'm gonna assume there's some sort of... Oh, there's the packaging of the box. Oh, I want this... So there it is. So I saw some scratches on the hood, so that's making me think I'm gonna order the other ones inside the box, so they shouldn't be scratched, but we'll find out. Alright, let's get that out of here. It's kind of distracting. And then Windows 11. I can't move this taskbar anywhere else. It always is on the bottom, and it doesn't vanish all the time. Very stupid, Microsoft. You guys are idiots. Come on. Back to this. Alright. With some vent details there. The 2 little vents you'd find on a Skyline there. They're actually protruding mostly. It's weird. Alright, the mirrors are casted in, and there's no silver on the back, but that's fine. I mean, this thing wasn't too expensive. What's weird is this chin spoiler, and the fact that it's so thin. Because this is a pullback toy, I think, right? Yeah, that white box usually means there's a motor. Hold on, let's see. It rolls nice forward. Yeah, there's a spring motor going on. That's a pretty weird sound. I'm gonna crank up. There's the first click. Alright, so that's maxed out. I kind of like the noise. It's actually kind of cool now. Alright, well anyways, so I think if that thing was going full speed and it hit a wall, I think this chin spoiler would break off. I mean, it's so thin. It looks like it's like a 1mm chin lip. It looks cool and all, but maybe not the best to actually play with. This is a kid's toy to be played with. But me, I just have the mentality of a kid, so I'm just going to collect it. Okay, well, going around to the front here. Yeah, you can see the rivet marks. As you wrap up to the top, though, the paint is filling in the rivet marks because this is a sky blue paint. Any light colored paint has a hard time covering up die cast, so whether it's yellow or white. So that's not the fault of this company, it's just the way die cast is. That's also why I like plastic bodies. Alright, anyways, some sort of vertical strakes, probably like an intercooler, and then a really tight pattern here for the grill. There's no indication of a GTR logo, not even a rectangle, so it's clearly not licensed, but it clearly looks like an R35 Skyline. Just based on these awesome headlights, look at these. This is clear, smooth plastic I'm touching, but behind it, looks like two projectors, some other turn signal action or something. It's really three-dimensional. You know, it's really back there. See, the pick is floating in front. So those are really nice headlights, very good. And it's got those two tiny vents in the hood and a little bit of the casting line of that piece that goes into the hood. But you can also see the scratches here. So what I'm going to guess is if you buy it without the original packaging, these might be the rejects from the factory. You know, the ones that were mishandled or thrown around or returned or who knows. So that's why you're getting a discount. You're going to have to expect it as blemishes. Alright. Continuing on, there's some blackout here next to the windscreen. The windscreen is just plastic. There's no molding. There's no windshield wipers that I can see. But I can see that the steering wheel there is hollow. We'll have to get back to the interior. Okay, this side, no major problems. I did see some black extra on that mirror there. Yeah, you can see a scratch in the wing because there's no original packaging. But it looks pretty nice. You can actually see kind of like the back seats there. Going around to the back. Oh, these are nice exhaust tips. They're really round, really deep. Granted, there's no silver, but I suppose you could take some Sharpie or silver paint and paint it all silver, and then you can go back and fill in the rest with black again. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right now. A really tight grill pattern back here as well. Looks good. And then the highlight, I guess, is the lights. I mean, they're clear plastic. And they're really deep. You can see the light way back there bouncing around. So that's really cool. The license plate recess is very shallow. I kind of wish it was deeper. But maybe that's how it is on the real car. Again, the paint's having a hard time, you know, with the crispness of the casting. It has to fill in that thing because it's trying to cover up the die cast edges. Yeah, oh well. At least they have some indication of a trunk lid. And then you can see pretty strong, large, really thick struts for the wings. Again, this is a toy, but you know what's weird is the wing itself is pretty thin, just like the chin spoiler. This end piece is like only 1.5 millimeters. So the struts are really strong, but the wing is kind of, well, I don't know. Maybe that would withstand children throwing against a wall. This I do suspect, though. All right, well, you know what? Let's look at the bottom here. The CE approval. Some sort of Chinese approval, the triple C thing. I don't know what 8003 means. Made in China. And then I don't know if that's an N? Uni Fortune. The listing had no brand name whatsoever, but I'm going to guess that's the brand. We'll have to see when I order the other ones, and they come in the box. The treads are really nice. Yeah, okay. I only wish the wheels were a different color. It looks like there might be two screws way down in there. Let's see what the inside of this thing is like. Got my jewelry screwdriver here. I think I might paint the wheels. I just don't like black wheels. You can't see what they are. Alright, so it looks like the same size screw as like a 164. Possibly bigger. Yeah, maybe the heads are bigger. Alright. Oh. Alright. You know what? This is actually like a Cherokee sized motor. Hold on a second. Yeah, here's a motor from a Cherokee. It's very comparable. It does seem a little bit bigger. It's a little bit wider. And the gear, yeah, maybe that gear is, it's tough to say. I do feel like it's like a Cherokee size. It's quite interesting. The axle is super thick, though. Look at the Cherokee axles, which I thought were thick. but this is much thicker than that even. So, interesting. Alright, so this base is plastic. I guess maybe that's a part number 8003. And then I guess if you wanted to, you could remove the motor. And here's, you know what? There's not much play in this wheel. In fact, there's not much of a gap with the tires. It's actually quite amazing that this isn't much gappier. And it still rolls well, probably because of the super thick axles. So, well, there's some melt marks of all the inside stuff there. Yeah, a lot of pieces going on in this thing. A lot of pieces. Very cool. Alright, so there's your interior. So you got the motor cover, you know, kind of blending into the seats. Yeah, no way around it, really. But look at the steering wheel. It's pretty nice. It's all hollow and everything and kind of realistic looking. So that's pretty good for a cartoon car. Yeah, maybe I'll redo the interior since it's black anyways. I'll be back. So a couple of notes to you guys if you're gonna, you know, modify your stuff. The dashboard wasn't even glued in, which is convenient. It's just sitting here in this slot, and I guess it's trapped by the top. So, you know, I decided to keep the black dashboard. It's actually a nice matte finish already, so that's nice. So that's gonna pop in up here. Now the tires are actually trapping the wheel. See? This whole backside is part of the tire. So you have to remove the wheels on both, or actually both sides of this. And I recommend you clear coat the color because you're going to have a hard time pushing this tire over this wheel. There's a lot of tension going on. So if you don't clear coat your color, you're probably going to just wipe it off with your fingers. Also, I tried to take this motor out. Couldn't do it. There's so much plastic here and this rib. And it's trapped by the back end. I was afraid to break it if I tried to flex this enough. I think it's just meant to go in and never come out. So that's why I just left the motor in, and I just twisted this off, took some pliers, and then twisted the other side off. So, not too painful, but just a few things to keep note of if you're gonna, you know, modify this. So naturally, I think we can see the wheels a lot better now that they're painted a Vallejo gold color. Now I gotta find the thread here. Let's just make about the thread there. And that made a much louder noise. Okay. Right, so now I can appreciate the wheels a lot more. I don't know if I'm gonna go back and paint those lug nuts, maybe later. Same with the exhaust. I just want to get this video over right now, but you can see the interior. Alright, so very cool. Let's look at some other cartoonish cars. $164, no way. So here's a Bling's Hot Wheels, which is closer to 164. 3D printed my own wheels for this. This is called the Out of Line. It's not a Skyline officially. It's called Out of Line, but the front end is clearly an R35. The rear is definitely make-believe. But I like it. It's obnoxious. Alright, here's a body shell for the S&T Sneaklo R27 Hakosuka. There's a brand right there if you want to look it up. I 3D printed my own wheels for it and a frame as well. I find this body's too nice for me to have as an RC, especially the wing. I think it'll break off as an RC car. So I just made it a static model, and I bought a different body for the RC car. Here's the Chorokyu, and this is, you know, I gotta say, this is a Chorokyu Zero, so this is way overpriced compared to this thing. It is blanked off wheels, painted on headlights, painted on taillights, right? It's got the spring motor, but I mean, look at the material difference here. This Chorokyu cost two times more than this, more than 3 times. Well, more than 2 times, maybe not 3 times. Depends where you get the stuff, but I mean, this is a lot more material. I'm sure metal costs more than plastic, but if not, even so, the base of this thing is probably the equivalent of that plastic in the whole Chorokyu, right? So, Chorokyu, you gotta reduce your prices, man. Your stuff is, it's cool, but it's out of line with the rest of the industry. Okay, so here's a Skyline from the Muscle Machines line, which is not 164 either. It's listed as 164, but this is definitely closer to 164 than this thing by a long shot. Look at I don't know what these guys were thinking listing this as 164. Okay, so I'm gonna get these guys out of here. The closest thing I have to this would be this cartoonish looking thing, which is like $2.50 and another $2.50 for shipping off Aliexpress. No branding whatsoever. There's no battery here either. There's no circuitry, but it's a pullback toy. But this is just horrible quality compared to this blue thing we're looking at today. Look, the door doesn't shut. Look at the casting blemish there. The plastics look cheaper. The stance is just atrocious. Look how gappy the stance is. Look at the casting error on that side of the tail light. This side's okay. But I mean, there's a giant gap here above the windscreen. So it's interesting the how much better this is for only a few dollars more. I think that was a Clint Eastwood movie. Never saw it myself. This is listed as a 136 scale. They're probably going by the width as far as the scaling goes. I think it's believable. So I would say this is probably 136 scale. Here's a 143rd scale IXO Ferrari, so that's supposed to be realistic looking. And it makes sense that it's so much smaller because it is 143rd scale. So, but then I guess the last one I have is a 130th scale Toyota Sienta. This is, I believe, a dealership model, so I have to assume that's actually realistic in scaling. And so you can see it's just much wider. And the Sienta is a small car in real life. It's based off like a Corolla or something like that. So I do believe these are probably like around 136 scale, if that matters to you. And if you're going to have like some sort of cartoon universe diorama, you know, this brand, which is unlisted, is generic, but there's like a Mini Cooper, a Beetle, and maybe like a 57 Chevy or something like that. So you could get a little collection of these going. But if you're going to start buying these things, I would start with this brand, whatever that uni is. They're just much better. This is a much better toy as far as the quality control goes and just the fit and finish of it all. Okay, well, that is it for today. It's quite interesting. I'm glad I got this thing. Even though it's scratched up, I guess I should have known that when I ordered it without the box. But don't be surprised if you see the other videos about these other castings, because I like this enough that I'm willing to try the other ones, even though I don't really like the size of it. I wish this was half the size. I honestly wish it was just the same size as a Cherokee, with just all the plastic details. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next cartoon car video. Bye.